In today's breaking development, the Supreme Court has just been pulled into the Epstein scandal, and the implications for Donald Trump could be devastating. The pressure is mounting from all directions, and the timing couldn't be worse for him. Let's get right to the evidence.
In with the House Oversight Committee and this image. And our point here is not to get mired in what might be the salacious aspects of this, but rather to leave this up for you to remember. If nothing else, Donald Trump and his allies repeatedly publicly denied that what you see with your own eyes here exists. This was from the Epstein estate. It is allegedly from and signed by Donald Trump, dating back to 2003. The body content, the word many have used about it, the obvious representation of a woman here, the references to youth, young women, or even underage women are all contained here.
That's the card that's raising serious red flags, not just because of what's written, but because Trump and his allies denied it even existed. Now, he claims it's fake, but the Oversight Committee has it, and the FBI says they're investigating its origins. But the scrutiny didn't end there.
U.S. House Democrats have released a new batch of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, and it features some big names. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and Steve Bannon are all named in copies of Epstein's daily schedules released on Friday by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. These daily schedules are from 2014 to 2019 and show that Epstein had plans to meet with Republican donors Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and conservative commentator Steve Bannon. The schedules make reference to Musk possibly flying to an island in 2014 and Thiel and Bannon apparently dining with Epstein as recently as 2017 and 2019.
These records directly connect Trump's closest allies to Epstein. Musk, Thiel, and Bannon are not small players. They represent financial muscle and political influence. That makes this more than just a scandal. It's a potential network of liability. And now, the stakes have risen even higher.
Happening today, the U.S. Supreme Court is set to vote on whether to take up Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal to overturn her federal sex trafficking conviction. She claims an agreement Jeffrey Epstein made with federal authorities that shielded him from prosecution should have covered her as well. Maxwell is serving 20 years in federal prison. Joining us now to discuss this and more, CNN's chief U.S. Supreme Court analyst, Joan Piskupic, and CNN legal analyst, Carrie Cordero. Joan, you first. This Maxwell appeals case is one of hundreds the justices will be making decisions on very soon. What does that say to you in her appeal, and what will we know if the justices take it?
Sure. In fact, they're meeting right now, Wolf, looking at hundreds and hundreds of petitions were filed over the summer. And when I say that they're reviewing them, I'm using the word reviewing actually quite loosely because they get so many that they only actually discuss around their conference table a handful. So we're not sure whether they're going to just dismiss her appeal out of hand the way they do for the vast majority of them, or whether they'll grant it. And just to remind viewers of what it involves, the non-prosecution agreement will test whether it applies to just the Florida district where Jeffrey Epstein was at the time, or all of the country, because Ghislaine Maxwell was actually prosecuted in New York. And in terms of timing, we could know as soon as the end of this week, or we could know in a couple different weeks, because the justices often will stagger the results of their conference hearing today.
Yeah, good point. Carrie, how do you see the strength of Ghislaine Maxwell's case right now, and how do you expect the justices to rule?
You know, she has a non-frivolous argument when it comes to her claim that the non-prosecution agreement should have covered her. That's because, as Joan was saying, she was prosecuted in a different district. The government is arguing that the use of the word United States in the non-prosecution agreement was what she could, how she was able to be prosecuted, and the Southern District of Florida was saying that it covered anything. And in what actually happened was that she was prosecuted, even though the government says that the Southern District of Florida was the one making the case against her. So she has an argument that other circuits have disagreed about, and so in this particular case, there's what's called the split. And so it's possible that the court will take it up, but there are some unusual circumstances about her particular case in the fact that she wasn't actually a party to the agreement herself.
If the Supreme Court accepts Maxwell's appeal, the consequences could be explosive. Imagine her conviction tossed out. She'd no longer be under the same pressure to stay silent. That would free her to disclose names, dates, and details that have been buried for decades. And here's the key. Donald Trump loses leverage. Right now, the Department of Justice holds power over Maxwell's prison conditions. If that disappears, her incentive to protect Trump evaporates with it. This is why the Epstein files remain Trump's most dangerous shadow. It isn't just about one man's crimes, it's about a system of influence that ties together billionaires, politicians, and the suppression of truth. The Supreme Court's decision could determine whether the truth finally breaks open or whether this cover-up drags on for years. We'll keep following this story every step of the way. Don't forget to subscribe to Frontline Democrats, hit the notification bell, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Should the Supreme Court force full transparency on Epstein's network, no matter who gets exposed?